Hello, in this presentation I will be talking to you about the shape editor possibilities. So first of all, if you will have any doubts anytime during the shape editing process, just go to the dynamic help or help contents, and in the dynamic help, whenever you click inside the shape editor, you get a small description about the shape editor, and in the help section, in the defining shape grammars, you find shape editor part, and you have a extensive description of all the parts of the shape editor, which I'm gonna talk about right now. And in the end, you have a YouTube video which is talking about the shape editor. Okay, so let us start fresh with a new grammar. I do not wish to save the old one, and we create a new shape. We name this shape I don't know, new shape or new polygon. Let's close this help, and we start our editing. So on the right side we have our palette. This palette can be closed at any time and showed if you don't mind the space consumption. On the top we have our dynamic toolbar. Why dynamic? If we would display a new rule, for example, this one has the same thing. So basically, render shows different tools in the toolbar than our shape editor. Going left from right, we can save the shape, we can undo or redo the last modification, we can delete the part of the shape, we can zoom in, zoom out, we can turn on and turn off the rulers, which is nice when we want to create some guidelines. Again, we can turn on and turn off the grid, which immediately switches on the snap to grid action, and we can snap to geometry objects. Let's now go step by step. We turn everything off, and we want to create, for example, new square. So creating a square would be nice using grid, because by snapping to the grid points, it's easy to create a square. Again, if we to finish addition of the shape, either we navigate the line to the start point and it immediately closes, or we hit, for example, for open shapes, we hit enter to confirm, or we hit escape if we don't like the last shape. Okay, one important thing, creating polylines is not done through dragging, but it's only by adding the points of the polyline. So we do simple click, we do not hold the mouse, and we see immediately that the last point is added automatically. And again, we press click, and that's how we add all the points of the polyline. We can place a marker for the shape. Again, clicking on the marker and moving, you can move it to the correct position we want. Next, some shape modifications. Let us delete this one. When we click on some shape, we have this guide points displayed. And using these guide points, we can either, by clicking inside the shapes, we can drag this shape to the new location. When we click on the guide points, we can resize the shape. So we can resize it to, depending on which guide point we click, we resize it immediately to the direction of the dragging. And if we want to rotate the shape, we hold Control, and that's how we rotate the shape. Okay. Now we use the undo function, and that's it. On the left side we have let's add some objects so it's better visible. On the left side we have our outline, so by clicking on the different objects in the outline we can like select all these shape parts. We can, using this outline, even delete the shapes. Yes, and for the snap to geometry presentation I will create one rectangle, and if now I have a grid, so by dragging I snap into the grid, but if I turn off the grid you see there is no snapping happening, and if I snap to geometry I see that now it jumped to the shape without using grid, so it's for some more advanced objects. Again, I can zoom into the objects for either by using these controls or using mouse wheel. And then what's interesting in here is this thumbnail, which shows me the currently displayed portion of the screen, and I can navigate again dragging this little blue square into the locations of the screen. I zoom out to 100% to get the whole shape. I delete this marker so it's not interesting for me now. Okay, now I have a shape, but I'd like to make for example like move the different vertices of the shape. So I use this edit tool, I click on the shape, it immediately, you see there are no guide points, but it displays me all the vertices of the shape. I turn on the grid, and now by dragging the endpoints of the shape, I see I can modify any shape I want. Edit. This is a cool feature, as I can play with the shape however I want. Okay, the last thing that remains in this presentation is a manual modification of some shape properties. So what do I have? If I click on any shape part, down in the bottom screen I get the list of the current shape properties. So I see that the shape part is placed on this this location. So I can modify it directly. So if I need to, for example, rotate the shape by 45 degrees, I just enter 45 and the shape gets rotated by 45 degrees. I can scale the shape, for example, to the double of the size. As I see, I get twice the size. And these are the basic properties, so I can modify the name and the name of the shape part for better displaying the outline. Okay, that would be it for the shape editor. Please continue the series of the tutorial with the rule editor and the render parts. Thank you for watching, and see you soon.